So next up is my lovely friend May, who is also providing us with the live stream tonight, so you can watch Sideshow live on the internet right now. You don't need to do that, you're here, but they can do that. I'll read you his bio. According to his Twitter profile, May Moskowitz is a technology geek, sexual freedom and community activist, prickly blogger, and general free spirit. He makes his living as an internet technology professional, providing web development, social media consulting, and other technology services. He's the co-author of Foundation Website Creation and Advanced CSS, and the semi-regular blogger at sitepoint.com. I found his work through a more personal site where he writes about his own life, and I'm really taken with his writing. Everyone, why don't you welcome May.
Thank you, Sinclair. May God bless you with discomfort at easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may live deep within your heart. May God bless you with anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may work for justice, freedom, and peace. May God bless you with tears to shed for those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, and war, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and to turn their pain into joy. And may God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you can make a difference in this world so that you can do what others claim cannot be done. So when Sinclair asked me to read today, I was actually going to read a piece from my personal blog, as she mentioned, called Men and Masks in Porn. It was about the fact that in most of the porn that I sought out or found when I was younger, men are literally masked. They wear hoods, not often for the sexual excitation for the thing, but to hide their identity or to because we're told that that is how men resonate with porn. That would let us put ourselves in their places, and that didn't really do it for me at all. And then, as I was thinking about what to say when I was speaking up here today, I kept getting drawn back to that Baptist proverb, that religious quote, because religion is really one of the most powerful forces that exist in human history. I mean, many people say it is the most powerful force, but it is in fact second only, I think, to sex. Not even religious guilt can stop or suppress any kind of human desire. I mean, there's way more than enough news stories about that. So now, I understood the kind of sex that I wanted to have when I was really young, when I was about 10. And I started to look at pornography at 10, and I found the internet at that age. And I knew even then that it would be about 8 years or so before even the things that I wanted would be legal for me to have. In fact, it's still not legal for me to have some of the things that I want. I joined public sexuality communities at 18. I'm not allowed to consent to certain activities that I'd like to consent with. Several people want to make certain things, sodomy, for example, illegal. And I know that for some of you in the audience today, it's not even legal to be who you are. Many of you are forced to compromise at least half of yourself, one half or another, just by being forced to put M or F on like so many government forms. And so I'm thinking about all that as I'm growing up and as a teenager, and I'm finding porn, and I'm finding various representations of what I'm told I should want, and so I'm watching porn, and and this is me at like 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 or so, and I'm masturbating to it, and my dick is hard in my hand, and I'm crying because it's not resonating. It's not what I actually want. It's not me there, and I think I've become so good at seeing what I want to see. In fact, when I look at porn, sometimes I change the genders around in my head. As a sexually submissive guy myself, I look at a lot of BDSM porn, a lot of women bottoms, and I will change the genders around in my head. When I see a woman tied up, I'm thinking, it's okay, let's just imagine them as a guy, someone like me. Or when I see men, I'm like, what are their faces like? Because again, masked. So I've become so good at seeing what I want to see, that instead of seeing what there is, it's actually become difficult for me often to see the world as it is, and to take off my own lens. And I think that's probably one of the first masks that I've been almost trained to put on. out of my own desire. And the more I looked at porn, the more that I realized that it was really about... I really wasn't interested in seeing sexuality that aroused, images of sexuality that aroused me. I was much more interested in seeing images of sexuality that reflected mine, so that I could connect with them and see myself represented in that image and have a validation that I actually exist, that other people are like me there. So I started to create spaces. One of the big projects that I run is a website called malesubmissionart.com, and it was really designed around this idea of you cannot be what you cannot see. So I started to ask for people to send me images and pictures of male submissiveness and masculinity in a submissive context, in a submissive sexual context. And the responses that I got to it were absolutely astonishing. Some of the responses were from submissive women, which I could never have dreamed of getting. Here's one of them. I just wanted to thank you. I'm a young woman, and even though I've known I was submissive for quite a while, I've had a hard time reconciling that with my strong personality. Your comments, though, have inspired me to go looking for a dom willing to work as hard for me as I'll work for them, and I'm pretty sure you've changed my life for the better, and I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you. So, this desire to create spaces where we're represented, I think, is common to many of us, and many of us are trying to forge what I believe is a very new morality, one in which behavior towards other people is really geared not towards how they would like, how we would like to be treated, but rather is based on how they themselves would like us to treat them. I realize that's a radical concept to some people, but I think it's very important, and that's not what we're told. That's not how we're told we should behave. Many of the spaces that I've created, actually, many submissive men have talked to me. You know the kind, little creepy, not really very well suited to public spaces, hard to talk to. Many of them say, thank you for writing what you do, thank you for being a man. There's not a lot of men who speak about the things that you speak about. And they seem very lonely to me. And in their pain, I found a lot of validation, because I understand that, and I'm truly very lonely. And when they thank me for what I write, I understand the importance of my work. Having created those spaces, I really felt like I needed to distance myself from the very communities that I went out to join at 18. They weren't the spaces for me. And, in order to create new spaces, I run an internet talk show called Kink on Tap, kinkontap.com. One of the responses I got there was another email. Someone wrote to me, they said, you've brought me more than a bit of peace on the subject of my sexuality. It's nice to know that I'm not alone. Even though I was told over and over in my childhood that being anything other than the average, normal Baptist girl was a bad thing, reading your blogs and listening to Kink on Tap disproves all of that. And I'm delighted to say a small amount of my own self-hatred is beginning to wane. And for that alone, I thank you so much. So people often ask me, then, why do I do the stuff that I do? And to that I started answering with this question, which is, what would you do after you've given up? After you've given up on having a sexually satisfied life, after you've given up on having what you want? And my answer to that is anything you need to do to stay alive. The correspondences that I get keep me alive when I feel like I've despaired. And I feel like I'm making people's life better. That's the only currency I think I can have. It's not money, it's not friendship, it's not loyalty, it's not sex. But it's doing. Actually doing, action. And so this new morality, based not on these commandments that we've received, but on affirmations that we define for ourselves, I think is how I keep myself alive and how I hope others do the same. Changing your life for the better. People say changing the world is hard, that it's difficult, it's a difficult thing to do. I think that's not true. I think many of you in the audience here, by your mere existence, are changing the world. And it's not changing the world that's hard, it's staying alive to do the work that's difficult.
Yeah.
So what I want more than anything else in the world is to find other people like myself, people who are bored by complacency, or who are exhausted by inaction, and who are stimulated by that discomfort. Because I think no one's sexual rights, not one person's, are assured unless all people can have the consensual relationships of their own choosing. So, if nothing else, for the love of love, reach out to someone and tell them that they're not alone. Connect with people so that they feel less alone. Those emails literally keep me alive. Email a friend, tell them about this reading series next time, encourage them to come out here. Because too many people still think that they are alone when they're not. Thank you.
Thank you, May. It's such a thrill to have you here. May's in from San Francisco, and we actually, 3 of our readers tonight are in from out of town, which I'm really excited about. The next reader is in from Seattle, but before I get to introducing him, I also want to give a shout out to the parents who are in the audience, because tonight I believe is the first sideshow where we have parents of readers coming to listen to their kids' works, and I'm really excited about that. So can we give a round of applause, please? Thank you for being here. I'm really excited. And another announcement about May. If you don't know mailsubmissionart.com or kinkontap.com, they're really fabulous resources, and Kink on Tap is really fun. It happens on Sunday nights. If you're into the kink at all, which I suspect some of you might have a small toe in that. Check it out.